Good day, ma'am. I am Ramel Caniti, and for today, I'm going to discuss and give my discussion in Chapter 11 in Business Organization and Management, which entitled Organization for Purchasing, Storekeeping, and Transportation. So, the objectives of this chapter is to be able to understand the organization for purchasing, storekeeping, and transportation. So, the second objective is to know what are the organization of purchasing, storekeeping, and transportation, and to be able to learn between the many types of the organization. So, the place of purchasing. The function of purchasing is as old as selling, for the two acts are complementary and one cannot take place without another. So, the importance of purchasing. In industrial management, there has been during last decade of steady increasing pressure to reduce production cost. So, purchasing the eye is mao ni ang kanang pag-acquire og mga products or any goods or services nga sometimes atong ibaligya or ato sang i-share ngadto sa uban. Buying merchandise and materials. Merchandise is brought primarily for resale, hence the main features that buyers must look for are the availability, style in case of style merchandise, and price. Buying equipment. Equipment is purchased because of the time and labor it will save in the turning out of accurate and quantity work. So, buying supplies. Buying supplies include those items which do not enter into the manufacture of the products but are used within the company and are not resold. They are, for example, the stationaries, greases, lubricating oils, soap, toilet paper, and similar items. Organization of the purchasing department. There are legitimate variations denoting some particular relationships in the purchasing organization. So, procedure in purchasing. So, purchasing is not as simple a task as it may appear to the average person whose only experience is in purchasing personal needs. So, of course, dili gid taon basta-basta ang pagpalit kay for example in our kanang ato alang mga day to day nga mga palitonon. Of course, for example natay paliton nga pagkaon, then what if nidong tas for example sa BQ or Alturas, then of course kita mangita jud ta og mas same quality but lower price. So of course first is sa di pa nato na siya i-purchase is ato na siyang subayon, then ato jud nang i-compare. So asa ta mas makales but dili less quality. So the important here is high quality, less price. So ato na silang i-compare, then ay pata mo purchase, and that's kanang mga simple ra na. So katong mga complicated nga mga need i-purchase is need na jud pud to siya og kanang mga personnel or mga tao nga highly experienced na, especially in purchasing. Kay purchasing is not just any job or any task, but it must be kanang matutukan, and because kanang dako kay na siya impact sa business. Relation of purchasing with other organizational units. So, analysis of the scope and type work of a well-rounded purchasing program indicates that the buying operation virtually touches practically every other department of the whole organization in many vital fields beyond the actual procurement of materials and supplies for their needs. So, purchasing and production. Historically, purchasing is allied to the production function, which embraces a wide variety of activities that are subject to the specialized and independent administration in more highly functionalized organization of large industry. So, purchasing and engineering. In many ways, cooperation between the purchasing and engineering department is comparable to that between the purchasing and production departments, except that engineering is chiefly concerned with matters of product and design and specifications preliminary to actual production requirements. Purchasing and account. Pur- every purchase made represents an expenditure against the company budget and sets in motion a series of accounting operations such as changing the expense to the proper account, the verification and approval of the invoices, final auditing and payment. So, every purchase or every purchase must have a receipt jud kay tahay po. Of course, kung magpalita, so kinahanglan jud na resibo. Kay in case na atay ikapakita or natay ika-proof kung maunsa gyud gani ang atong gipalit. So, purchasing and sales. The sales department should keep the purchasing department informed of the sales quotas and the expectations as to guide the probability quantity requirements of materials. So, stores and control. So, function. The function of storekeeping is concerned with the providing a place or places for the safe and convenient storing of materials and supplies that are needed for immediate use, for disbursing such as materials as required, and for seeing to it that the supplies do not run out before additional quantities are ordered and received. One man is usually assigned to take charge and is responsible for all aspects of storekeeping. Purposes. The purpose of storekeeping and control may be stated in two categories. First is to wit. First, from the point of operation. Second is from the financial viewpoint. Location or storerooms. The location of storerooms is an important consideration. Stock keeping. Any system of stock keeping or stores controls is predicted on the orderly storage of materials and their accounting while in storage. Storage facilities. Storage facilities must be adapted to the types of materials handled and which include racks, bins, shelving, trays, platforms, and floor space, all numbered or otherwise identified as to specific location. Supervision. Control of stores is further facilitated by unit storage or peeling so as to give a quick visual count of materials on hand. Records. The basic record of the store department is the stock record or the perpetual inventory. So, transportation. Importance of transportation. The importance of transportation as a facilitating function of business cannot be emphasized enough. Its effect on the entire economy is pervasive. So, modes of transportation. A business firm may depend on outside sources of transportation. In addition, it may operate its own internal and transportation facilities. So, outside transportation may be truck and bus, by rail, by water, and by air. The railroad is an expensive method of transportation, transporting raw materials and heavy equipment over relatively long distances. Water transportation is even more inexpensive because the Philippines is an archipelago with many islands. Trades and industry depend heavily on inter-island shipping. Air transportation is speedy and efficient but expensive. Internal transportation fleets are maintained by manufacturing or marketing organization. And that would be all, ma'am, for the chapter 11. Thank you and God bless us.